How you doing? It's Derek Butts with Assist You to Win, the connecting place for winners. Today is a special day. Of course, it's another episode of what we call the Showcase. Our whole objective is to broadcast and amplify people's businesses and lives that will inspire you to be a better you. So today, without no further ado, I have with me Nikki Speaks with Finding Your Voice. Nikki, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, well, let's jump right in. Because you know, one thing about social media and people, they want us to get right into it.
Right.
So Nikki Speaks, how did you even come up with the name?
Oh, Lord. Okay, so what happened was I've kind of struggled with finding my voice. I've struggled with really being my authentic self. And so I developed a business that would help me and help others be able to have a platform to speak on. So, and of course that hence Nikki Speaks. So,
okay.
And so, I mean, I guess I just kind of pushed myself out there and I said, you know, I'm going to build a business that is a speaking business. That's a global and mobile business that will allow me to, you know, find the tools necessary so that I can have the confidence to continue to inspire people the way that I know that I'm called to do.
Man, I love it. I love it. I always think everything in life starts with an individual. So like you just said, it started with you. Can you take us to maybe an earlier place in your life where this whole thing starts to get developed? Maybe kind of just walk us through your childhood, walk us through college life, walk us through, you know, maybe just life up until this point. Just kind of tell your story.
Okay. Well, I was an extrovert for sure, like always involved in everything, you know, socialite, just a butterfly. And one of the things that I loved the most was running track. And then also I was a cheerleader and a pom-pom girl. And so I was like captain of the pom-pom squad. And so my dad was in the military, so we moved all over the place.
What branch of service?
He was in the Air Force, 20 years in the Air Force.
Me too. My dad was in the Air Force as well.
Okay, so we ended up in Illinois, and I'll never forget, you know, I started going to a school, and it was predominantly white, and it was different for me because I was growing up in Oklahoma, and it was predominantly African American. So anyway, so here I am, and there's this big shift in my life, and I said, you know what, I'm going to get involved anyway. So that's when I became a part of the track team, and I became a part of the pom-pom squad, and then ended up becoming captain. So things were going well for me. You know, you kind of can become popular, you know, and it's like, okay, I'm on the field and, you know, I'm doing cheers and, you know, running and winning races and everything. But then what happened is that there was a student that was in my class and he called me a name. And it was a day, I remember that day like it was yesterday. I was really happy that day. I had a good day and we were in science class. And we had a little extra time, and so we were sitting there, and someone was talking to me, and he just turned to me, and he said, "You're a jigaboo." And I said, "Well, what is that?" And because I didn't know.
What grade?
And so I was in 5th grade.
5th grade, okay. Yeah,
so
jigaboo. Not a normal term.
Right. I'm like, okay. So he goes on to just really go in and really talk about me, you know, racial slurs and everything. And so it really hurt my feelings, but I had to save face. And this is a student that was, you know, had some poverty issues going on. And so I thought, really? Like, you're going to say this to me? So anyway, I cried myself all the way home on the bus, and all my friends rallied together, and they're like, we're going to beat him up and everything. But it couldn't, you know, take that wound away, you know, and that hurt and that disappointment that even though I was trying to do all these wonderful things and thought I was doing a good job, you know, someone still saw a flaw in me. So I made myself stop talking. Like, I literally tuned out after that. I said, you know what, if I'm going to work this hard to be this great and just this one person sees negative in me, then I'm just, you know, they don't see my value. So I'm just going to be quiet. Right. You know, so I felt like I was punishing the world. I felt like I was punishing that environment, but I was really punishing myself. And so that continued for a long time. And I became a really, really good writer. Majored in English with a bachelor's degree at my University of Northern Colorado. And I began to hide behind my words. And I just poured everything into that. I went to school to become a teacher, became a teacher. Spent 11 years doing that and just pouring into my students. But I felt safe in my classroom speaking, but when it came to speaking on a different platform, then I was nervous about that. So fast forward, you know, it's something that I still kind of battled with, you know, anytime that, you know, I'll get to a certain point and then I'll just shrink down. And I'll say, okay, I have all this ammunition, all this momentum, and then I'll say, okay, I'm going to be quiet now. you know, when I get that attention, or I feel like I have some friction, or someone doesn't like me, or what have you. So I've kind of battled with that for a while, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna build a business. I'm gonna build an empire to help other people and also help myself continue to remember that speaking is necessary, you know, and impacting people is necessary. And there's people that need to hear my voice, that need to be inspired by my energy and who I am and what I'm doing. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. It's so powerful, right? Because
Right.
so many people are impacted and influenced by someone else, and then it ultimately shuts them down to the place that life doesn't get the best of them.
Right.
So first and foremost, I want to say thank you for saying yes to facing that.
Right.
Because most people just figure out how to live from a handicapped state,
Right.
where you chose to break the shackles
Yeah.
and to go live to a whole nother place. So thank you for that.
Right. I think a part of that is because I have 3 children.
Okay.
My beautiful children. My son is 19, Michael, hey babe. And I have twin daughters, Anya and Anaya. They're so sweet and beautiful. But I'm that mother that just gives my all to them. And I just really wanted them to know that they can win, you know. And I've always pushed them. This is funny. So, you know, I always would shrink down, but with them, I'm like, okay, go do this. You got to sign up for that. You know, just pushing them out there because I know that it's necessary.
Right.
I used to drive up to different grocery stores or to CVS and sit in the car and say, okay, here's your list. I give it to my son on this, you know, on a piece of paper, and I say, okay, you go in there. I mean, at the age of 10, I would send him into the store, and I would sit in the car. I would give him money, and I purposely would not give him enough money so he could navigate that. So he would come back out to the car frantic, like, Mom, you know, I'm so embarrassed. I said, good for you. I'm glad you're embarrassed. Go back in there so you know that you have this, you know, what are we going to take away from the list? And so he would go in and figure it out. And he's like, well, you know, I couldn't find this. Go find somebody that works there that has a shirt, that has the logo, you know. So I'm really, and I've always been very focused, even with my students, to make sure that they have what they need to speak and to feel comfortable in society, you know, interacting with them.
Yeah.
I've always been a teacher, always been a coach, now that I look back, you know, so.
Well, you know, you have one of the greatest motivational voices on this side of the planet, Lisa Nichols, and
Yes.
you know, you've exposed her to a lot of your clients and a lot of your circle today. And one of the things she talks about is living beyond the label.
Right.
So as a woman building a business in today's society, it used to be where it wasn't popular. But how do you feel now where the popularity is kind of pushing you towards women lib and women doing things? Is it now a place of competition of their voice, or is it a place of maybe definition of the voice? I mean, talk to me about, you know, women today in business.
Yes, I love it. I feel like I started my business in June, my 44th birthday, June 17th of 2018, and I'm just so excited to be even moving in this vein, because it's something that I always saw myself doing. You know, even as a little girl, I remember being 5 years old, I used to take the brush and pretend it was a microphone.
There you
And
go.
when my mom would be getting the grease and, you know, Ultracine, you guys probably don't know about Ultracine, the green stuff.
I was going to ask you, the blue bottle or the green bottle?
It was the green one.
Okay, 'cause
So she would be gathering the rubber bands and everything, but I'd always find the brush, and that was my microphone, and I would be singing Diana Ross, and I literally would see myself on stage somewhere doing this. And so it's so great to be in that vein. And what happened, I was going through a low period in my life, and I was looking for a voice that wasn't a voice that I knew. So I just started searching on the internet, and I came up with, you know, Lisa Nichols pops up, and she had a motivational speech that she was doing, and I was just like, I love her. Like, I like what she's saying, and I need to get in this woman's space. So I got on a plane and went to San Diego. I went to one of her programs, and then I just continued to enroll in different things. And one thing that I really love about her, she changed my mindset of women in business because she wanted us all to win. Like, there's not one person in the audience that she did not speak to and say that you can do it. And so she motivated us off the couch, out of those bedroom floors, you know, where you're upset and you're sad, or, you know, those traumas and dramas of your life or whatever. So she really inspired me to know that it's not a competition anymore. If you want it bad enough, you can get it, and you can get it right alongside me. I can hold your hand and carry you through, or I can, let you go and soar before me, but I don't have to feel intimidated by that. Because I know that what God has called me to do, I know what God has put inside of me is unique to me, and that I have an audience that's unique, and that has my name written all over it. So I don't have to fight for your clients. I don't have to fight for his clients or anybody's clients. I can just go for the ones that I know that I'm called to, that are drawn to me by my energy and what I bring to the table.
Yeah.
So, and it was hard, because I've operated in church settings and I've operated in school settings, and it's very competitive, and everybody's trying to race to the top. But there's a certain level of peace that I have in this pursuit, and I love it. And I can only attribute it to, of course, God first, my family and friends, the support of you as my local coach as well, and then Lisa. She's been amazing, with helping me. She's my executive coach, and she's also my keynote for the Voice Conference 2019. And you better register today. Seats are filling up. But, I'm just inspired. I'm so happy to be an African American boss woman, in 2019, because I know that I'm coming, I'm coming for all those people that are sitting at home, all those people that are, hurting and they don't feel that they have the potential. I want those clients. I want the ones that feel like they don't have anywhere to turn. They're ashamed, they're upset, they're frustrated, they're stagnant. I want those clients because I want to be able to push them to the next level, because I know that I can.
Yeah, that's powerful. So you talked about your 3 kids, right? You talked about how all of them are unique in their own right. And how does a woman specifically, as you've raised your children, you've raised successful kids, and now they're adults and they're getting ready to move off, and all of them being in college, do you think a woman has to redefine her voice, as she has used that voice to inspire and influence her kids for the most part? Do you see yourself right now in a discovery phase again of redefining you with them gone and figuring out maybe this next chapter?
Right.
Maybe speak about that from a motherhood / boss style.
Okay. Well, I always had it in me. Like I always knew it was a desire, but I tabled it, because what I wanted more than anything was a perfect story. I wanted to have, just those kids that I would have for the rest of my life, that would be so close, and we would, I'd be able to see them grow and mature. And so I put them, first, and I put them above even my own desires. But I always worked on me. So I will say that to any mother, that's, whether you're a single mother or married mother or what have you, always work on yourself. And I did that by schooling. So I would have my kids, line them up. I mean, they literally be on the ground with their different homework assignments, and I would be working on my master's degrees. I ended up getting 2 master's degrees when my kids were coming up. So I knew that I was getting the training and the education that I needed that would be, my platform for later, so but I always knew. But now I feel amazing, because I feel like I'm 18 again. I'm that student that just graduated from high school, and it's like, oh, the world is, anything is possible. And that's how I'm trying to think, and that's how that's the mindset that I've adopted, that's allowed me to be so excited and just really putting the pieces together to the puzzle. And my kids are they're my biggest cheerleaders. They're like, Mom, go get it. You're going to be on the big stage, and we're so excited. We're going to be sitting there looking at you, and it's because I put so much into them, and I've pushed them, so now they're pushing me. So it's nice and refreshing to see the tables turn.
Yeah.
That I have their support. But as a mom, I would say, as a woman, don't ever, ever, ever table your desires and your dreams. You just keep working on them. Even if the situation isn't conducive to being able to support that, like if you don't have the financial backing, if you don't have the support, just continue. Don't ever give up on yourself. Don't ever give up on your dreams, and keep doing it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So you talk about the energy, right? And nowadays you hear so much of that. Lisa Nichols even talked about that with the law of attraction and the whole chicken and soup and soul with Jack Canfield. You do have this energy. Describe the energy. I want you to describe your energy. Everybody doesn't get to necessarily know you. I get it. I feel it. Even sitting here with you, there is that. There's almost that piece that wants me to get up and do something.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was like. Right. I'm a cheerleader.
But describe that energy, that when you show up, the energy is going to be what?
It is going to be off the chain. I always say, like, if you see me and I'm quiet, there's something wrong. You might want to check on me. Check my pulse, make sure I'm alive. But I know, and I've always known, even as a little girl, that I just bring that fire, that light to a room, to an atmosphere, that cheerleader style, like, hey, you can do it. Like, Nikki's arrived, and for a long time, like in school, I had problems with girls because they would always say, oh, you just think you're all that and you dress cute or whatever. But it was just about, like, I love that. Like, I love the stage. I love being in that vein of just encouraging and motivating people. If I go to a party, if I go to a gathering and I see somebody sitting in the corner quiet, I'm going to go. It's a challenge. And I don't even talk to myself about it. My little feet start walking over there to the corner, and I'm saying, hey, I'm Nikki. Who are you? I love people. I love relationships. I love seeing people win. I love turning the sadness and the madness, just turning it around and allowing them to see hope and get up, and feel good about themselves. So I know that it's pretty intoxicating and sometimes intimidating for some people, but I'm still going to bring it, and I love being who I am. I wouldn't have it any other way.
So how do you take somebody that's maybe in a silent voice, move it to a whisper, to the place where they got the voice? How do you take somebody through that process?
Well, it's definitely stages, and I always tell my clients, be patient with yourself, because it took you. It wasn't overnight that you got this way. Either you were born as a person that is more quiet, or because of the circumstances of life and the issues that you faced, it has silenced you. So be patient with yourself, but push yourself. So take baby steps, and a lot of it, if they feel more comfortable writing, start with writing. So once you start with writing, then start sharing your writing. And once you start sharing your writing in a small platform with people that you love and respect you and will tell you the truth, then you take that writing to another platform, and so then you speak it in a larger audience. That's when you reach out to your pastors. That's when you reach out to your friends. Hey, gather a bunch of girlfriends around. I need to share a story with them. Let's just have girl time, and I want to practice. Right. I actually developed something called Open Mic Night to support that platform for students. I was going to say, coaching clients that need a safe place to be able to share, whatever is dear and near to their heart. And so that has been amazing. I've had people, come to me and say, I was so scared to even share this, whether that's about their business, whether that's about, something that they've gone through that they want to just get it out. It's so cleansing to be able to just share that and know that you've inspired someone else. And sometimes it's just inspiring yourself to say, hey girl, hey guy, I've gotten through this, and so I've seen the light at the end of the tunnel, and I can make it. Like, I'm okay. And I'm going to be okay the next time and the next time, So anyway, I just feel that that's very important, to do the small steps and take it one bit at a time. Don't force yourself to do too much too soon, because I'm doing the same thing. Yeah. I'm doing the same thing.
That's awesome. So let me ask you this. So there's so many voices, right? So you got the power of the voice, finding your voice. But talk to me about how you shut down voices. There are voices that sometimes are speaking to people that keep them from their voice, keep them from the right voice. How do you tell people, how do you shut down those voices that have kept people from their best version? What do we do with those voices?
That's really good. It's hard, because sometimes those voices are in your family, sometimes those voices are in your circle, sometimes those voices are in your church. So what I say is stay true to what you know you are. And if you have to write down who you are and who you want to be and aspire to be, stay true to that. So whatever they're saying does not line up with what you know you want to do and what the area that you're headed towards, then you have to eliminate it. You can be respectful, you can listen to it and say thank you for sharing, but don't you ever take it as word and bond, and don't you ever actually allow it to attach to your mind or for you to rehearse it as true, because whatever is pulling on you on the inside, it's God-given. It's your gifting and your talents. And sometimes because of intimidation, sometimes because of people and their own wounds and their own fears, they want you to shrink back because they don't have the confidence and the boldness to move forward. So don't you allow them, don't you buy that for 1 minute. You continue to, walk in the vein that you've already started, and that's what I try to do. There's been some voices that I've heard, and I'm like, wow. I remember, actually it was one of your events, and at Assist You to Win, and I was speaking. I was a panelist as well, and I got a call. And actually it was a text message and it was a very rude text message. And it really knocked the wind out of me. And it challenged me as a speaker, because it basically, this person, and still to this day don't know who it was, said a negative thing about me and about me speaking. So I ended up calling my pastor, Pastor Sarah Connor of Word of Truth Family Church. Hey, girl. Gotta get my shout outs. But anyway, so I called her.
And Pastor Evan.
Yeah, Pastor Evan too, but I called her. But I was like, look, this is what just happened. I go on in about 10 minutes, so talk me off the cliff. Because every part of me at that moment, I went into shock and I was ready to go. I said, okay, well, this is not me. Maybe this is a sign. I'm just talking myself out of it. 10 minutes into, right before we're going on live. So she tells me, she's like, no. She's like, that's a sign. Not a sign in the negative, but a sign in the positive that you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do. And that somebody's trying to deter you from that, so stay with it. And so I said, okay. So I got myself together, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I did. And since then, doors are opening left and right and all that. But had I bought that lie, had I bought that person's opinion of me, which I used to be the person that cared so much about what everybody said. Had I bought that, then I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have met Lisa. I wouldn't have, been able to have this wonderful conference that I'm about to have.
Right.
I probably wouldn't have had the boldness to continue to have a relationship with you, for you to help me. So I'm just so glad that I did that. And so whoever you are, if you have voices, whether that's somebody that's not, bold enough to tell you who they are, or somebody that that's speaking negatively about what you want to do, I just want to encourage you to stay with it and do it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna listen. She has been feeding me, feeding you, all at the same time. So let's end on this high note, real quick.
Okay.
All right. So, of course, you just told them Finding Your Voice conference is coming. You're going to share a stage with your mentor, Lisa Nichols, and so she's coming. So I want you to give me another stage that you can see yourself on, and a city that you can see yourself in. So just give me a stage that you want to be on, and maybe a city that you're saying, one day I'm going to speak in this city.
Okay, so here we go. I'm going to speak on the 10X Growth Conference stage in Florida, wherever he decides to have it, and he being Grant Cardone. I've already seen it, believe it, and I know it to be true. So I'm going. I don't know when.
I love it.
But Grant, I'm coming for you.
With you, Grant. With you, Grant. Okay. So you want to do the Grant?
Well, let me just tell you this. Can I say this part?
Of course.
So I was at the 10X Growth Conference in Miami, and it was amazing. But I was sitting back and I was just looking. Looking at the lineup, looking at all the speakers, and he had African American men. He had, every ethnicity, except a little chocolate Barbie doll girl like me. So I was like, he needs me.
Okay.
He needs me in the lineup. So yes, I was like, I'm the missing piece. He just doesn't know it yet. So I'm gonna, reach out to him.
Well, we'll just use what he says, right? To sell or to be sold. So one of the Grant Cardone things is he wrote a book, and the whole book was on to sell or to be sold. So Grant, listen, if you're listening, and when you listen, whoever can get this to him, you need her.
Yes.
Nikki Speaks.
Yes, I have something to say.
Awesome. So again, thank you for sharing and just opening up, right? We get to hear about a story that most people don't get to hear. We got to hear about where you are. We got to hear about where you're going. When it's all said and done, Nikki Speaks is impacting, influencing lives because you decided, though, to deal with that lady and said, I want to be all that I can be. So thank you for doing that. Any other final words that you have that you would want to just end with? Just register for the conference because I want you there. And it's not, it's so funny. This year I've probably invested so much financially to the point where it has scared me, honestly. But I feel so great about it because I know I've invested in me and in who I'm destined to be. So I want you to, even if it's a stretch, invest in yourself, even if you have to make a phone call and say, hey, can I borrow some money? You need to get there because I'm telling you right now, Derek's going to be one of the speakers. I'm going to be one of the speakers, obviously, and Lisa Nichols. Many more people that I know for a fact. The lineup, you will be changed forever. The trajectory of your life will be changed forever. Mentally,
physically, emotionally, everything. It will be personal development, business strategies, and just like-minded people that want to win and optimize their talents and their gifts and maximize their potential. So I can't wait to see you there. You can follow me on Nikki Speaks, NIKKI.SPEAKS, and you can click on Linktree and you'll see the Voice Conference link, and go ahead and register today. I can't wait to meet you.
Well, there you guys have it. Another episode of the Showcase. I'm Derek Butts with Assist You to Win, the connecting place for winners. Today, you have the awesome privilege of meeting Nikki Speaks. And so we want you, as she just stated, to join us at the Voice Conference. And before then, follow us on all social media platforms so that we can continue to do what we love to do, and that is inspire your life to greatness. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for tuning in.